Okay, YouTube. I was not planning on making a video today, and I got a comment today from a subscriber. They have a Technics. I think the one that they have is this one. The Technics RS TR212. And I'm only assuming that because of the video that they were commenting on. So the subscriber said that he had to replace the gear in here, this little plastic gear. All right. And according to him, he replaced the gear and it worked really good. But then the gear next to it has broken. So I'm not sure which gear he's talking about. Now, all these Technics cassette decks, though they look very similar, there are very small differences in the way that they are built. Okay, this is from an RS TR212. It only has one gear right here, and it has another gear right here. Now, there might be another gear in here. I'm going to take this plate off, and I'm going to see exactly what is in here. Because the guy who left this comment has really piqued my interest. It's been a long time since I worked on a Technics cassette deck. Okay, so you have to pop this little spring right here first. You leave the heads on the single direction mechanism. The pinch roller I already took off. It's laying right there. It just comes off. So, but you don't have to undo any of these screws. You do not have to fuck with the heads. So you leave them alone. Okay, so this plate, it's not the same as this one. The auto reverse, you have to remove these two screws, remove the head before you remove the plate. This one, you don't have to do that. Right here, you see this little piece of black plastic right there. You get your fingernail underneath of that. And you lift up right here this little piece of plastic. And there's another one over here. Right behind the fake erase head. There's another little plastic tab. So you have to lift those up to get this to let go right here. Now, I'm not going to be able to do any of that and hold the camera at the same time. I just want to see what is underneath this plate. Because he said he broke one of the gears. Okay, if it's this gear, which he didn't say. He didn't say it was the take-up spool or any of that. So I want to get this plate off and see what's under it. I'll be right back. Okay. So when you lift the plate off, the heads are still connected. All right. So I am guessing that this little gear right here is what he's talking about. I'm guessing that may be split in half. Now, he says he has the brand new gear, but he doesn't know how to get this off of here. My guess is that this just lifts away. I'm sorry about the lighting. Okay, so yeah, lift the triangle off as one piece. Try not to fuck up the spring. Okay? So, but that just lifts right off of there. Now that gear, my guess is that gear is pressure. It just sticks on the motherfucker. Okay? So, we're going to go to the back of the deck now. All right? So, but you lift this part off, flip the mechanism over, okay? Because here is what it's actually connected to. It's connected to this fast forward and rewind pulley right here. So now this back plate has to come off. 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. And I'll be right back. Okay, 3 screws removed. Now there's no belts or nothing on this because these are parts. Okay, now when this guy is taking his apart, I'm assuming his will still have belts and stuff. Okay, so now, might as well get the flywheel out just for the fuck of it, okay? Because it's here and you're this deep, so just go all the way, okay? Don't do it half-ass. Now, that gear that's connected to this wheel right here. So, this is a 2-piece mechanism here. There's a spring right here. So this spring is holding that on there, okay? It just connects into that little spot. This big spring comes down and it hooks right here. Unhook that spring and let it go up out of the way nice and easy. Don't let it fly, okay? Because you don't want it to unhook and go sailing. So just let it rest on this post right here. So now there should be nothing holding this section in here. This should lift away. That's just a guess. But it should come away. It's hooked in there somehow. Ah, see, there's another little spring. There's this one too. Okay. So it's very difficult to do this and hold the phone at the same time. Okay. So there has to be a way for that to unhook. Okay. Yeah. So this spring right here has to be running down in there. So I'm going to have to get some tweezers and okay, let's see here. Where the hell are my fucking tweezers? There they are. Okay. I know this shit's gonna go fucking flying. Okay, so you can see that moving. Okay. I'm gonna have to set the phone down. But I'm gonna have to take that spring off. You can see that spring running down through there. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so when you unhook that spring, it has a lot of pressure on it. So make sure you have a good grip on it. Now this section will lift away. So just try to leave it like that. Okay. Aha. I think I figured it out. Yes. Right here, this little black peg sticking up right here, you have to push it forward. Push that black peg forward, and it's going to unlock. It's going to let go of this. Okay? So that's what you have to do. Or lift up on this part at the same time. And you can see that moving to give you the clearance that you need. I'll be right back. Okay, so this bracket right here, all you really have to do is pull on it. Do you hear that click? Put your fingernails under there and just give it a real good click. And now that's away. Lift this entire bracket off. Now here comes the gear. Right out the back. All right. There's nothing holding this gear on there. Basically, you have a spring and that gear right there. My guess is all you got to do is grab a hold of it and pull it apart. So we'll see. I'll be right back. Okay, so all I did was take these little pliers, grab a hold of the gear. There's this spot that does not have teeth. This spot here does have teeth. So do not grab those with the pliers. Okay. And it just came right off. So my guess is the brand new one should slide right back on and just shove it down like that. So there you go. So, and then just reassemble slowly. But that's the gear I'm guessing he's talking about, is this one. So this goes back in here like that. This big funky looking thing goes back on. I'll be right back. All right. So once you snap that thing on, then we have this one with that very tight ass spring. This goes back on. Okay, so I have to hook this spring back up and over that, and then bring this spring back down to there. So, I'll be right back. Okay. Put this spring on first. That only took 2 tries. And then pull this spring here back down. Latch it back on. Okay, so now these are good. Everything's nice. All right. So we can stick the flywheel back in. Now, since you'll have belts, you'll have to do belts. But, see, I don't have to, because this is for educational purposes. So, I can just put this back on before I flip it over. I'll be back. Okay, with the mechanism flipped back over, you can see the gear sticking back out the middle there. All right, now you have to put this funky thing back on, which goes, everything has like a little bit of oil on it. So stuff don't want to work right when you grab a hold of it. Wants to put up a fight. So, okay. But basically, the top part of this goes on top of that little drive shaft right there. Right? So, okay. I'll be right back. Okay. It's a pain in the ass. Everything has a little bit of grease on it. But it just sits on there. There's nothing holding that on. You know what I mean? There's no special spring on there. There's no special clip on there. Okay? So, but don't try to pull that gear off from the front. It's much better to take it apart and do it the way I just showed you. Okay? Because that gear is on there very, very tight. And if you try to push the new one on there, you could really fuck up the back of it. Okay? Because everything's made of plastic. It's all 30 years old. Okay? But, you know, like I said, go in from the rear to get that thing out of there. Now, I don't care if it's an auto reverse deck. It's the same gear in there. Has the same wheel. It's all the same. So, if that's the kind of deck you're working on, whatever. But that's how you have to get that little gear, is you have to get it from the rear. But you have to take this off. You'll never get that back on there if you think you're going to leave this front piece on here and do this job. So you're going to have to do all that. Now, me putting this piece back on while holding the phone is probably going to be freaking impossible. So I'll be back. Okay, so front piece is back on. Spring is latched down. The other spring is connected up here, which I totally forgot all about. And when I took the plate off and when I put it back on, it went right back on. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, so this plate's back on. You can see the little black triangle is back in its spot real nice. All right. So I am not going to be connecting this to a deck and playing it in a deck, because that would be just stupid. The point of this video was to show this subscriber how to get that gear out. And basically, you have to go in the front, remove that little plastic piece. You could probably try it if you wanted to go through the back and remove that piece like I just did and try pulling it out that way. But, you know, it's not as easy as you think putting it back together. So, but that gear will come off of that drive shaft. Just grab a hold of it and pull. Just like pulling a tooth. And then when you put the new one on, okay? So you should be able to pull this off. If you changed that gear, then you should have the knowledge and the expertise to get this off. Now, this video took 22 minutes. In reality, it probably took 30 minutes. Okay, and that was just because of the slippery parts being kind of a pain in the ass. All right. But this is back together. I hope this video helps him out. And y'all have a good day. Party on.